Hey guys, my name is Hannah and I would say, let's have some fun today. Okay, like I told you in my Will I Buy It, I was particularly interested in the Hourglass palettes, the cheek palettes for this year. Those are the three that are out now. And there's actually a fourth one as well, and it's a Sephora exclusive apparently. But what caught my eyes really was, in the end, the Fox palette that I really wanted. Not just because it has 5 new colors in it, because I think overall I don't have that many Hourglass, things in my collection, not many cheek products in my collection. I don't have all of the cheek palettes. I just have the one from last year and the year before. So this is all I have, and maybe there would be 1 or 2 repeats for me personally, maybe with the highlighter in I think it was in the lightest one. It is also in my jellyfish palette and things like that, but overall I don't have anything of those colors. The reason I was really tempted with the Fox palette in the end is just the vibes. I know it's intended to be for dark skin, and that's because I wanted to show you how I, with my very fair skin, would use this palette. Like I said, it's not intended for me, so it's good that it's too dark for myself, It's good that it's not working, like I can dig my brush into it and then it's working perfectly fine for me. No, if I would do that, I would have so much pigment on my face, I would look like a clown, but it should exactly be like that, So that out of the way. But I really wanted the Fox palette right here because of the colors, I have to be honest. We are approaching now the fall season, and for me those were the most fall-like colors. Not just for all of you guys that you have 5 new shades in here. I think the only repeat is the middle shade right here. And it's actually a blush. It's the Lucid Glow blush. So this is the only repeat and I don't have this one in my collection. I also want to show you the other 2 that I have. It's so funny because I bought me first time the lightest palette because it just spoke to me the most. The second time last year I bought me the medium palette, and this time, so this year, the palette that really spoke to me the most was the dark palette. So I don't know why. It wasn't at all on purpose. I really just always buy me the one palette that really speak to me the most, and this year it was the dark one. So that's that. I actually filmed a little bit of footage for you guys so that you have a feeling for all of those colors, and I also will tell you all about the application process and how I make this palette work for myself. But to be honest, I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit used to darker palettes because, for example, when Melt are bringing out cheek palettes, they're always very, very pigmented. So I'm used to how I work the best with those types of palettes, I think maybe it's also a little bit of that because I'm really in love with this palette. I love those colors, and yeah, I had so much fun with this palette. So without further ado, if you are interested in that, and if you also want to know how I make the darkest palette work for me personally, then stay tuned and let's get right into the video. Okay, the first thing I did, I will put all the footage in here so that you can see everything. But the first thing I did, I really wanted to try this powder right here. And I took the powder shade, the finishing powder in Desert Light. I took it on my powder brush that I normally use, and I will also show you that in the camera footage so you can see right away that it's too dark for me. Really too dark. It should be too dark for me, of course. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's not try it even to use this one as powder. So I directly did go in first with my powder brush to my cheekbone area and applied it there like a very soft type of bronzer, and I really, really liked it. After that, I used my normal bronzer brush that I usually use for bronzer and dipped again in there and really packed it on like I would with a bronzer. And for this shade right here, I can go really in there because it's like the perfect bronzer shade for me personally, so I was not mad about that. It's a little bit more on the neutral cooler side, so it's almost like a hybrid of a bronzer and the contour shade. I really love that and I used it like that. And like I said, I can't use any powders in this palette right here. I don't have a finish powder. I did go into this palette knowing that from the beginning, you could say. I knew I couldn't use this one like a powder, you know? I don't have powders in this palette, but I was prepared for that, and to be honest, it's not bothering me at all. I use my normal e.l.f. loose powder for all of the videos, and it was perfectly fine. I didn't had the feeling, you know, oh my god, it's a step more, it's so not worth it, it's so much work. No, I really don't have the feeling. I think now I have many more blushes in here, a beautiful bronzer, so I'm not mad at that, you know, I can use it like that. And I did go in there, like I said, knowing that I will not have a powder for myself. So that's totally fine with me personally. And after that, I really wanted to try the Lucid Glow blush, and I did go right in there with my blush brush, and I really digged in there. So you can see the pigment right away on my face. It's funny because I thought, oh my gosh, this is the lightest blush in this palette right here. So let me just dig in there. It wouldn't be that, I think, too strong for me because it's looking very light in the pan. But as you can see, it's a very strong blush. So I'm happy with that, guys. I love blush blindness, you know, if we want to put it like that. I'm one of those people that sometimes like to be blush blind. So I put it onto my cheeks a little bit more to the, I think it was on the apple on my cheeks, and I also did go to the nose part, to the bridge of my nose, and really did something like a little bit of an bronzy type of blush look on me this day, and I really loved it. And after that I thought a little bit about it, but then I thought, you know what, let's do this. I really wanted to try also this highlighter right here. It's a little bit more of a goldenish type of highlighter, and it's so beaming, so beaming, beautiful. But I didn't use it like a normal highlighter. I really put it more on like a topper, you know, like a toppery kind of highlighter. So I really put it all over my cheek area, you could say, and really buffed it in. I love that look, guys. I had the feeling I was looking so fresh with much blush, but I really love that look. It's looking a little bit like a fall beachy type of look. It's very weird, but this is the best I can describe it, I think. So this was my first look with this palette, and this is what I did, and I thought it was very nice. And like I said, the first time I digged really much in there. So for the second time I was a little bit more prepared, and I thought, you know what, let's the second time dig not too much in the next blush I want to use. So what I did for the second look, I actually think I used the actual bronzer, but really lightly, and I used the actual bronzer for my face so that you can see just actual bronzer in action, and I really did it very lightly all over the face as well. So I think this is what I did for my second look, actually, that I used the normal bronzer and it was beautiful. And after that, I really wanted to try the Canyon Heat blush. So I digged my brush in there, and for the second look I did go a little bit more at the back portion of my cheek area, applied it right there. Again, I loved it. I thought it's looking so beautiful. I was really in love with that blush. This blush for me, Canyon Heat blush, it's really representing of a fox, if you know what I mean. When I have this blush on, I really feel like a fox character or something like that in the fall season. So this is the most resembling fox color to me personally. So I was very excited about this blush. I thought it's looking so beautiful and stunning, and yeah, I loved it. And after I did go in very light in there, I did a second and maybe also a third coat. I can't recall it anymore, but I did go in a little bit more to show you the full opacity of the blush. Of course, not the full. If I would go really hard in there, I couldn't go out like that, you know, it would be too much. But I did it in a way that it's for me more than normal, but in a cool kind of blush blindness way, you know? So I really love that look as well. And I wanted just to show you how much you can pack on the color for a little bit more of lighter and fairer skin, so that you can see, you know, if it would be something maybe also for you, if you bought it, you know, for collector purposes, or maybe, you know, something like that. Maybe this video will change your mind to use this palette maybe anyways as well, alongside your other palettes. So that was my second look. After that we are coming to the third look, and this is the look I'm actually wearing today. I really like it. It's a little bit more on the lighter side, you could say, but you clearly can see the blush on my face, you know, and I really love it. I think it's a little bit more on the fresher side, and I actually used this blush right here for this look. But let's go to the beginning. What I did first was I digged a little bit more with a big brush, with a really big brush this time. I digged into the finishing powder as well as the bronzer and bronze fusion. I did a little bit of both. Oh no, sorry guys, for my second look. Okay, for the third look, I digged in with a big brush into the finishing powder as well as into the bronzer named Bronze Fusion. And I really digged in there for both of those shades and really put it onto my cheekbone area, you know, a little bit more towards the cheekbone area, and really buffed it in all over the face to give me overall a little bit more of an bronzy fall kind of vibe on my face. And after that, I really wanted to try the last blush, and it's the Amethyst Haze blush in here. And I really wanted to try it. It's looking so beautiful and a little bit more on the lilac-y side, purple lilac, you know, it's a very interesting blush. And I was actually surprised. I put it onto my cheek area, on the apples on my cheek, and a little bit on the bridge of my nose. And I was surprised how fresh it's looking actually. It's looking so beautiful. I digged also lighter in there, but not so light, to be honest. I was a little bit heavier with my hand because I knew I wanted it a little bit stronger on the apples on my cheek. And I really loved it. I think it's looking actually very fresh, a little bit sunburned, maybe from the fall sun, you know. I'm burned a little bit, and I really loved it. I thought it's beautiful and very fresh looking. And again, I was a little bit on the fence, but with the same blush brush I used, this time it was a bigger blush brush, I did go in again as well into the highlighter Solar Glow and put it a little bit like a topper as well, more towards the apples of my cheek area. And I love that look. And because maybe you are also curious about my eye look and my lips, I will go really quick over it. For my eyes, I after that used for today my Button Stellaire palette from Chanel. I just used it for one video and I thought, why not? Let's bring it back. And I did such a quick look, guys. You will see that right now in the footage. I just mixed two colors together. I mixed the light and the medium shade together. I think they are just called like that. I really mixed it with my finger together and put it all over my lid and a little bit onto my lower lash line and called it a day. And also the other light shade, there are no names, just light and medium, but also the other light shade on the top of the palette I used for my inner corners. So that's everything I did. That was really the quickest look I ever done on camera, I have the feeling. And I topped it off with my Heroine Makeup Long Mascara in waterproof. It's a little bit more of a brown shade. I topped everything off with this one. And at the end, for my lips, I did go in with my Pat McGrath Bronze Astral Lip Balm. I love it. It's a little bit more on the brownish, warmer side, you know, and I think it's rounding up the vibes overall really good. Yes, and here we are again with this beautiful Fox palette. I have to say, if you can tell, I I love this palette very much. And what I forgot to tell you is actually, I was on the fence if this is AI or not, and I'm very happy to say it's not AI. I think it's a tattoo artist actually, and I think knowing that now, the covers are really looking like a tattoo, you know, and I really love that. A tattoo artist actually, I think, did those covers, and I think they're all so stunning and beautiful. I was really between the fox and the deer palette, but at the end, ultimately, I thought, you know what, this one will be my next palette, and I will put her name right here because, like you can maybe recall, I'm sometimes very forgetting. I'm forgetting everything. Names, things, I don't know. Sometimes it's like that with me, but I will put her name right here. I think she did a fantastic job. Me personally, I always like the covers that Hourglass are bringing out. And this is also why I really wanted a palette at the end. To be honest, if it would have been AI, I don't think I would have bought me a palette because I'm so over it, guys. I'm so over the AI thing. So I was so happy that they announced that it's really actually an artist that was working with them together. So that was also something that was really important for me and a buying point for me, to be honest. And I'm not disappointed. I really, really love this palette. And yeah, guys, maybe let's go in a chronicle order. The very first one I ever bought for myself, and you can see the backdrop is almost gone. It's actually the Jellyfish palette, and it was 2 years ago, and this was the lightest of the bunch. And I think it's very beautiful. I love also the cover. It's also a blue, but a different type of blue. I think it's looking very beautiful. And I'm so sorry I don't have every palette. I don't buy me every palette because it's just too much, you know. I really go every year with the one that I really want and love. And maybe if something will be available on a good deal at the end of the day, I will maybe buy it as well. But for now, we are staying with the Fox palette. And those are the two in comparison. I think you can tell it's nothing alike. Of course, it's a so much deeper type of palette. So it would be a little bit weird if there's something very alike. Maybe this purpley shade, but it's going a little bit more to the brownish purpley side. And this is really more a true purple kind of tone. So here you go. Actually, the highlighter in the Jellyfish is my favorite one. I really love it. But this one is a topper. Beautiful, beaming and beautiful. And here we have the palette from last year, and there I decided to go with the Evil Eye palette. And this is the reason why the Swan palette didn't spoke to me that much, because I saw some videos by now that the Swan palette and the Evil Eye palette is very similar in a sense. So just that you know that as well, they are very similar, and that was a perfect reason for me to not buy me the Swan palette. And here you go. Here is the Fox palette. Here's the Evil Eye palette in comparison. Also nothing alike, and I'm very happy with my Fox palette right now. I have the feeling I have now a palette for every season. And the Fox palette is now really my favorite. I have the feeling for the fall season especially, but also for the summertime maybe, for a bronzy type of look. This one would also be perfect. So I'm right now very excited to use it during the fall time. And of course, so much more in general. And yeah, guys, this is all of the video. It was a little bit different with the application videos that I put in. I hope you liked it. I wanted to show you really the full opacity and potential with the Fox palette, but I just can't speak for myself. So I just wanted to show you how you can make this palette work for lighter skin, and I really enjoy something like that. I sometimes love to have much blush on, you know me, and I think the Fox palette is actually perfect for that, and I also think that the Swan palette is perfect for that. If you don't care for the light, fresh look that the Deer palette will give you, go for the Swan or for the Fox palette and adjust a little bit to your skin tone, you know? It was very exciting for me. I really loved the Fox palette. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If so, I would be really happy if you give me a thumbs up, then I know that you like this kind of content. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and click on the little bell to get notifications here and there when I'm posting something new. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. We will see each other in my next video, and until then, bye guys.